TV, or your number one source for local news. This is WRAL, coverage you can count on.
Right now at 6, tough night for the Carolina Hurricane fans after their team lost to the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. We'll take you to the Lenovo Center for live team coverage. Plus, a 13-year-old girl hit and killed by a garbage truck in Cary. The charges the driver is facing. Kat?
And get ready for a big winter chill. Temperatures are dipping into the 20s for everyone tonight. I'll have a closer look at when the coldest temperatures settle in coming up.
Right now at 6, a disappointing loss for Cane fans. They lose to the Panthers 6-3. They look good for the first 2 periods, but couldn't pull off their 10th win in a row at home. Thank you for joining us on this Black Friday. I'm Gerald Owens. We hope you enjoyed WRAL's Hockey for the Holidays special programming today. For all of you who couldn't make it to the game in person, WRAL's Chris Lee and Brett Neese did make it there and join us live from Lenovo with highlights and fan reaction. Chris, Hurricane fans have gotten spoiled with all the ways this team has come back as of late. Didn't happen today.
Absolutely, Gerald, but let's remember who the team is that they just went against tonight. They won the Stanley Cup a couple years ago. Same team that also eliminated the Carolina Hurricanes a couple of years ago. But this is what's going on actually for the Canes. They're really good, but they're still having their goaltender issues. Remember, Freddie Anderson is out for another 8 to 12 more weeks. And then Pyotr Kochekov went down with an injury last weekend, so he's day-to-day. A chance he could possibly play tomorrow versus the Panthers, but we'll have to see. But in the second period, the Canes made a valiant effort, and they ended up tying the game up at 3. But in the third period, when the Panthers went on the flurry and took advantage of the Canes' third-string goaltender, this is what happened. A.J. Greer gives the Panthers the lead for good. That was followed by a shorthanded goal for the Panthers. Then an empty netter to make it 6-3, and that is your final score. The Canes' 9-game home winning streak comes to an end, and now they head to Florida to take on the Panthers once again tomorrow afternoon. But a lot of fans here are definitely disappointed. Brett Neese was able to talk to the fans after the game. What were they telling you about how they felt coming out of this game?
Yeah, Chris, I mean, it's 9 games at home in a row that they were able to pull off. It's hard to get to that 10th one, right? Yeah. And unfortunately, regular season game, Stanley Cup defending champions, they're disappointed on a Black Friday, but at the same time, just happy to be here, right? Happy to be able to be at the loudest house in the NHL, and a lot of them leaving right now. Might have some video of what it looked like inside as well, inside the Lenovo Center, when unfortunately people were starting to head to the exits early today, and that's how it goes, though. Whenever they are losing a game late in the third period, they made a pretty big effort there at the end with that empty netter finally sealed the deal for them. And these fans just, again, happy to see this team start to really come into their own, even at the beginning of the season. We'll have more reaction from those fans coming up later, though, Chris. But it's interesting to be out here, this time of year, right?
Yeah.
Seeing this team start to figure out what is their identity, number one, and then number two, move forward and just keep winning hockey games.
And they've done a good job so far, but that goaltender situation is definitely something that's interesting. Bobrovsky, one of the best in the NHL, and of course Spencer Martin's been having a hard time finding his footing in the NHL. Third-string goaltender for the Carolina Hurricanes. That's the difference in this game. Otherwise, these two teams are even.
Yeah, and as you said, we get another shot at him tomorrow. So thank you, guys. We'll talk to you a little bit later. Hey, here's a live look at downtown Raleigh. You can see how festive it is with the Christmas tree in the foregrounds. It is going to be a frigid weekend that we have to look forward to. The first hard freeze of the season is on the way. Temperatures are going to dip into the 20s overnight in some areas. Meteorologist Kat Campbell is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Kat, just how low are we talking?
We're talking temperatures dipping into the mid to upper 20s, but we're going to see 5 nights in a row of lows in the 20s. So now's the time. Go ahead and protect your pipes at your house. Bring your pets indoors at night. And for most of us, this is our first hard freeze of the season. 24 in Roxborough, 26 for Durham, Rocky Mount, Southern Pines, 27 in Raleigh and Fayetteville. If you're doing a fire pit tonight, temperatures are going to be in the 40s, but dip into the 30s starting at 9 o'clock. It's clear, it's dry, and it will be less windy tonight. It gets cold this weekend, just 48 tomorrow, 52 on Sunday. Those are the highs. Believe it or not, it gets even colder than this. I'll have the timeline for that coming up.
All right, thanks, Kat. This is Brian Schrader in the WRAL Live Center. And of course, it has been very busy on the roads around shopping areas all over the Triangle. I wanted to give you an update as we head into the evening here on Black Friday out at Crabtree Valley Mall in Raleigh. This is Glenwood Avenue, seen from 440. Traffic's moving along pretty well right now, but we have seen it backed up here just in the past hour or so. And now we'll take a look at the sensors around streets at South Point in Durham. Very heavy traffic showing up on Fayetteville Road and also on Renaissance Parkway.
Thank you, Brian. Tonight, a teenage girl is dead after being hit by a trash truck in Cary. This happened at the intersection of High House Road and Cornerstone Drive. That's near Stone Creek Village. That's where we find WRAL's Willie Danley tonight. And Willie, police filed charges in the crash just a few hours ago.
Yes, Gerald, the driver of that trash truck is facing numerous charges this evening. According to Cary police, the young lady that was killed was 13 years old. She was actually crossing that street right behind me when the driver of that trash truck failed to yield.
Dispatch another ambulance to this location. It's on High House.
At around 10 o'clock this morning, Cary police officers responded to a crash at the intersection of High House and Cornerstone. A 13-year-old girl was hit by a trash truck while crossing the street. This is what first responders saw when they first arrived.
I think he's got injury to his right knee, and I believe his left hand or maybe right hand. Most likely like secondary type impact from a truck.
The teenage girl was taken to the hospital with serious injuries where she later died. The driver of the trash truck, 57-year-old Adrian Holt, was arrested and has been charged with death by motor vehicle, failure to reduce speed, and carrying a concealed weapon. Northbound lanes on High House remained closed for hours as Cary police investigated the accident and cleaned up the scene. The identity of the 13-year-old girl that was killed today has not been released. Meanwhile, Holt is due to stand in court next month. WRAL will be there. We have reached out to the recycling company that owns the truck that Holt was driving, and we're still waiting on a response. Tune in to WRAL News at 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock to hear an interview from the suspect's girlfriend with WRAL's Carly Haynes. In Cary, Willie Danley, WRAL News.
The Highway Patrol is looking for the driver who hit and killed a pedestrian on I-40 near Benson, then drove away. 38-year-old Ryan Ofer died at the scene. Investigators say a car on 40 East ran off the road into the grass median and hit him. If you know anything about this case, call the Highway Patrol. Two important recalls to tell you about tonight. The first involves eggs from Costco. Handsome Brook Farms is voluntarily recalling nearly 11,000 cartons of organic, pasture-raised eggs sold under the Kirkland Signature brand. This is due to a potential risk of salmonella contamination. The eggs were sold in 24-count cartons and sold at 25 Costco's in North Carolina and South Carolina. So far, there are no reports of anyone getting sick. Whole fresh cucumbers are also being recalled over a salmonella risk. The cucumbers were produced by Sun-Fed Produce and sold in 26 states, including North Carolina. Not clear how many people have gotten sick yet or which retailers and restaurants may have sold this product. You'll find information on both of these recalls on WRAL.com. One of the few businesses in downtown Rocky Mount went up in flames this morning. Flavors Restaurant and Lounge caught fire around 7:30 this morning. It took firefighters more than 40 minutes to put it out. WRAL's Heidi Kirk was on the scene and got a close-up look at the damage.
An empty shell of a building is all that's left at Flavors Restaurant and Lounge in downtown Rocky Mount. We spoke with the owner just hours after this happened, who says he's devastated. It's a business Geraldo Whitehead built from the ground up.
I started from cooking out of my house. I started catering. Then I started doing more private dinners, more something intimate. Then I got a food truck. Within a year later, I got a restaurant.
Now a pile of burnt wood and charred building materials is all that's left, just 1 year after it opened.
Honestly, I don't even know what to think. This is definitely not how I expected to start my morning. You know, I was expecting to come in like a normal day, you know, check on my employees to make sure we had everything for the day. And this is what I pulled up to.
The Rocky Mount Fire Chief tells WRAL News the fire burned for more than 40 minutes, starting at 7:30 a.m. He says the cause is unclear, but the fire department is investigating.
I just was happy that no one was in there, because that was my first thought. Like, well, who was in the building and how did they start the fire? And most importantly, are they okay?
As for what's next, Whitehead says he knows one thing. He will rebuild and continue cooking up soul food wherever that may be.
Just know that this will not be the last of flavors in Rocky Mount.
Now, a lot of questions still remain about what exactly started this fire. We're going to continue pressing investigators for answers. Heidi Kirk, WRAL News in downtown Rocky Mount.
Now, the owner of the restaurant told us he is opening a second location in Greenville in a matter of weeks. He says supporting his new location will be the best way to help him rebuild. If you are hitting the highway to head back home or to see family over the weekend, here are the best and worst times that you'll want to drive. Tomorrow, AAA suggests driving before 1 p.m., with 4 to 8 p.m. being the busiest times. Then on Sunday before 1 o'clock, still the best time to drive, with 12 to 6 being the worst times. You still have time to get in on Black Friday shopping tonight. In Raleigh, Crabtree Valley Mall is open until 10. Triangle Town Center is open till 9. And in Fayetteville, Cross Creek Mall and streets of South Point and Durham. Those two malls will be open until 9 o'clock. Be sure to check the mall's websites for adjustments in these schedules throughout the holiday season. And don't forget, you can support some of your favorite local businesses tomorrow for Small Business Saturday. Still ahead, a local woman says someone dumped trash on her 7-foot Donald Trump mannequin. Her message for the country. And taking a live look at RDU International, a busy place this weekend for sure. We are in for some frigid weather as well tonight. As we mentioned, Kat Campbell will have the full weekend forecast for you coming up. New tonight, a second federal lawsuit has been filed against a Wake County teacher who assaulted special needs students. Parents of another special needs student filed a lawsuit Wednesday against James Rencher, the Wake County Board of Education, and several district officials, including former Superintendent Caddy Moore. This lawsuit claims senior school and district leaders were aware of the assaults, but they failed to report them to authorities as required. A 6-month WRAL investigation revealed the district allowed the teacher to stay in the classroom and even named him Teacher of the Week, despite multiple warnings from staff members about his abusive behavior. 3 weeks after the election, there's still some hard feelings. A Moore County woman says someone vandalized her political display. This 7-foot-tall mannequin dressed as Donald Trump is in the corner of her yard. She says someone dumped trash and shredded paper on that display. WRAL's Megan Glova has the story.
It started as a gift.
So it's a 7-foot tall mannequin.
That became a Halloween decoration.
I went to the local thrift. I bought a blue suit, a red tie. I already had a MAGA hat, and I already had a Superman T-shirt. And wouldn't you know it, the actual suit had American Eagles on it.
A display to show her support for President-elect Donald Trump that she says has been popular with passersby until this week.
People get out and take selfies with it, and I don't mind it. I haven't had anything negative until this.
The Moore County woman says she walked out of her house Tuesday morning and discovered this. Trash and tons of shredded paper dumped all over her display. She doesn't want to be identified for fear of more harassment.
But it's a pretty big mess, and now it's all in the yard, and it's all in my neighbor's yard, and it's just everywhere. But, the thing is it just showed me how divided we are now, and how did that happen?
She says she reported the incident to police, who told her it could be classified as vandalism. But she's not harboring bad feelings toward whoever did it.
My thing is just let's come together with love and respect for each other, and let's just get through this. Life is hard enough already. Let's not make it harder.
And the message she wants to share with everyone, regardless of who they voted for.
To be patient with each other and to realize that I believe that we all really want the same thing. You want what's good for our family and for our country.
Megan Glova, WRAL News.
We want to go back to meteorologist Kat Campbell. Kat, this is one of those beautiful December forecasts that we can expect for those like me who prefers 20 degrees over 100 degrees. But it's going to be cool for a lot of people.
Yes, it will. Gerald, we're in the same boat on this. I actually thought it was really nice outside today. I went for a long walk. The sun helped. The wind wasn't great. But, it is going to be colder this weekend. Good weather for a fire. It won't be as windy in the coming days. 48 degrees for tomorrow's high, 52 on Sunday. Check out these lows, though. We've got a stretch of low temperatures in the 20s coming up here. So make sure that you are really bundling up. If you're headed out to do some small business Saturday shopping tomorrow, it'll be a nice day to be inside and shopping. 29 degrees at 8 a.m. By noon, 44 degrees, just in the upper 40s during the afternoon, and at least it's sunny. 6 o'clock dinner time, we're in the low 40s, quickly dipping into the 30s after sunset tomorrow evening. Really chilly. The good news is pretty good weather for holiday travel across the southeast. The front's well out of here. We do have some snow up in the Midwest and the Great Lakes region, even some lake effect snow. Lake effect snow can be pretty intense to drive through some of those bands. So just keep that in mind if you do have travel plans or you've got family that are maybe headed back to the Midwest. That may be the problem spot. For us here locally, it's just a chilly, dry start to December. 27 degrees tomorrow morning, 29 Sunday morning. 27 Monday with a high of 45, 23 Tuesday morning with a high of 44, and then 24 on Wednesday morning. So you've got 5 mornings in a row with temperatures just in the 20s. Now, a lot of people are asking me, we've got all this cold air locked in. You need the cold air locked in just like this in order to get snow. The issue is we just don't have any good systems or sources of moisture coming our way. So if we go all the way through next weekend, December 8th, using the European model ensembles, an exclusive product that we have here at WRAL to show you. This is good in long-range forecasting and picking up potential systems that could come together. It's not looking very good for the snow lovers in the mountains even. As you get into early December and have a cold like this, that's not all impressive of a number for Boone. So our snow drought continues. It's been over 1,000 days since we've seen an inch of snow, over 2,000 days since we've seen 3 or 6 inches of snow. That was December 9th in 2018. That was nice to see the snow in the month of December. Looking outside at a Beach Mountain Resort tonight, you can see they are making snow. Here at home, it is 48 degrees, clear skies. Over the next 7 days, minimal chances for rain. We've got a small chance Wednesday evening, but that's about it. Big story is the cold. As warm as we get is nearly 60 degrees by next Thursday. Don't forget, we've got our WRAL Tower Lightings Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Tune in for that special and look out for it on Western Boulevard.
All right, Kat, thank you. Hey, we want to go back out to the Lenovo Center. Chris Lee is there after the Hurricanes' disappointing loss to Florida. Chris?
Yeah, Gerald, it was a disappointing loss, but the Carolina Hurricanes and the Florida Panthers both played the exact same. The difference was in goal. After the break, we'll show you what happened in the third period for the Canes to drop this one. But what's coming next after this game for the Canes? That's all next, coming up in sports. Welcome to sports, everybody. First, let's talk about this great week as we had hockey for the holidays right here on WRAL and Fox 50. Tonight, the Carolina Hurricanes hosted the Florida Panthers right here at the Lenovo Center, where the Canes were trying to get to 10 straight wins in a row at home. Unfortunately, they didn't do that as they lost 6-3. One of the factors is the absence of Pyotr Kochetkov, who's still in the concussion protocol. It was definitely a factor in how this game turned out. Let's take a look at those highlights. Spencer Martin starting in goal with a 3-2-1 record this season for the Carolina Hurricanes. Canes down 1-0 and go on the power play a little after 5 minutes into the game. It's Seth freaking Jarvis, his third goal in 3 games since coming back from injured reserve. That ties it up at 1. Canes down 3-1 in the second period. Check out this goal from newcomer Sean Walker. Lets it fly from the blue line, and that's his 100th point of his NHL career, 3-2. The Canes tie it up at 3 later in the second. Jalen Chatfield shoots. Eric Robinson with the redirect into the goal. And now we're in business as the Canes finish the second period strong. But coming into the fourth period, the Panthers start shooting and go on a flurry. A.J. Greer gives the Panthers the 4-3 lead in Raleigh. The Panthers add a shorthanded goal and an empty netter, and the Canes lose 6-3, ending their 9-game winning streak at home. Here's what the team said after the game in the locker room.
Yeah, we've come back in the last few games, and everyone gets all excited about it, but it isn't a recipe for success. And again, against a much better team, they're going to lock it down.
In this case, I wasn't as good as I wanted to be tonight. So, just the best feeling is to get out there and play again. Whether I'm playing or not, I'm not sure, but I'll be ready to go.
And tomorrow is Mac Brown's final game as UNC's head coach at Kenan Stadium. The Heels are hosting NC State in both teams' regular season finales. If the Heels, they're already bowl eligible, but if the Pack win, they'll become bowl eligible themselves. UNC has not announced if Brown will coach in their bowl game. The kickoff is at 3:30 tomorrow. Hey, tonight is the third round of the high school football playoffs. Don't miss the best and longest running high school football highlight show in all the land. Football Friday, our showdown game of the week is Hillside at Cardinal Gibbons. You can watch that tonight at 11:35 on WRAL. As for the Carolina Hurricanes, they're going to play the Florida Panthers once again tomorrow, this time on the road. We don't know who'll start in goal. There's rumors that maybe Pyotr Kochetkov could be ready, but we'll see. If not, we have Spencer Martin and also Yannick Peretz ready just in case. So we'll have to see what happens in that game. Hopefully the Canes can come back with a win.
Yeah, they won so much, Chris. Do fans have anything to worry about, or is this just one game in a long season?
100%. I actually agree with that.
All right. Fans, just cool it. You got a lot of hockey left to play. Thank you for joining us. We are minutes away from NBC Nightly News. And then at 7 o'clock, it's Big Ten Countdown. We have some college football for you. At 7:30, Nebraska will take on Iowa. Have a good night.